Hey, this is Brill, and I'm here after a pretty long day at work, and I'm going to do something I've been thinking about doing for weeks. Short video reviews of books that are relevant to creative people, professionals, or just people who like to be creative. This one is called Burton on Burton. It's Tim Burton's autobiography about his career in film directing. In case you don't know him by name, uh, Nightmare Before Christmas probably is most hyped up video. Edward Scissorhands, Big Fish, probably my favorite movie of all time. I chose this because I always liked his stuff and I wanted to know more about it. I was thinking, I'll read this so I can learn his path and emulate some of what he did. But he says right off the bat, when people ask me how I got to be this, it was not a linear path at all. You wouldn't say he fell into it. He worked really hard, but he never decided, oh, I want to be a director. He started out working for Disney. He went through high school making movies for fun, and after that, he got into an art school, and right after that, he was hired by the Disney Animation Studio. And he didn't like it very much. The first project they put him on was The Fox and the Hound, and he has this to say about it. It was a good job, but my manager also kind of tortured me because I got all the cute fox scenes to draw. And I couldn't draw all those four-legged Disney foxes. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't even fake the Disney style. Mine looked like roadkills. So they started giving him these faraway distance shots to do, and it was a little better. But he says it was still like Chinese water torture. And all this time he was working there, he was drawing these bizarre creatures. You know, that's hopefully, yeah, there you go. That's what he does. These pinchery, insectoid, just strange things. And he was always doing that. He worked there for 10 years, but they didn't use anything he did. He says, I felt like a trapped princess. I had a great life in a way. I was able to draw anything I wanted, but it was like working in a completely sealed environment which would never see the light of day. So he did that for a long time, and eventually he got a paid spot to do a short stop animation film called Vincent. And you can look that up on YouTube. You can watch it for free. I feel like it's kind of dark. When I watched it, I left feeling kind of gloomy and down and morbid. But Burton has something to say about that too, in that a lot of people say his work is dark, but he doesn't necessarily see it that way. It's all in the eye of the beholder. I've always felt that you couldn't even pull apart light and dark. They are so intertwined. Then Burton got some more short films, and eventually it came to the point that his work was making money, and Hollywood decided that, finally audiences could handle films that break the conventions, films that are weird. And weird was acceptable, and weird could be successful. And so Tim Burton became a bankable director. So then he started working on Edward Scissorhands, and that's when he first started collaborating and having a friendship with Johnny Depp. And that's something else you hear in this book a lot. Tim Burton picked a handful of people and kept them very close. And also, Danny Elfman, he's a musician and composer who really gives most of his films that really distinctive soundtrack. Oh, there go the lights again. Here's Tim Burton, some of his sketches from Nightmare Before Christmas. And he says a lot of this was just symbols. He says he gets a feeling from symbols. For example, the character Sally is stitched together. He says that's just a way of explaining how I feel sometimes. I feel stitched together. My characters, even if they seem bad, they're not really bad. They're just weird, often misunderstood, and he can identify with those characters too. Page 143. Anytime people see my movies and start saying things are too dark, I just don't get it, because I have a very different perception of what dark is. To me, something like the film Lethal Weapon is really dark, but to them it's not. They see people walking around in regular clothes shooting guns, and it makes them feel more comfortable than when people are dressed up in weird costumes. And I'm disturbed by the reality of that. I find it darker when there's a light-hearted attitude to violence. Yeah. Well, thank you. I hope you heard something in there that was useful. I'll see you later.